Well, they did it. That moment, you can self-insert into Ray's shoes. And let me kind of explain. Ray is a character, we know he is quick to give up. It's something that we were told early on, that he gives up too easily. If things aren't going right, or if it seems like it's impossible, or very next to impossible, he gives up too easily. He's like, it can't be done. We can't save the children. We can only bring us 3. And I'm kind of like iffy on the other 2, but overall, we can't bring everyone. People are going to die. He's very negative. He's someone that says, like, this is impossible. There's no way. Quick to give up. And let's just think about what the entire fan base has kind of been doing, okay? We all admitted that the bridge idea was wrong. There's just no way they were going to make it across the bridge. And we were right about that. However, we all, myself included, I include myself in that, we were all under the impression that there is no way these kids are going to make it. Like, Emma, Dawn, Gilda, Ray, obviously they'll make it, but there's just like no way all those kids are going to make it. Some of them are going to get completely killed and it's going to be a massacre. That's what we all expected. I expected that. But it didn't happen. And the entirety of this chapter, when Ray was speaking inside of his mind, you just saw what he was thinking. That was basically us. The writer basically had Ray as us throughout this chapter and throughout this entire arc while they were planning the escape. Every time he was thinking like it's impossible, you can't do this or whatever, that was us, thinking like there's just no way. But it happened, and it really stunned me by the way it was done, because throughout the entirety of this chapter, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, I was getting closer and closer to the screen. I was up like this, because I was just like, there's just no way. Someone's going to die. Something bad's going to happen. Something really bad's about to happen. Isabel's coming in. Something bad is going to happen. Either Emma's going to be left behind. She's going to be captured. One of the children are going to fall off into the ravine and die. Something's going to happen. But it didn't. And just the way the writer can get me like that, where I am thinking someone is going to die throughout the entirety of the chapter, but then everything's fine, I'm like, bruh, the way the writer can use tension in this series amazes me. I mean, we already know the writer can use tension. He knows how to build it up because of what we saw in the earlier chapters. But oh my god, the way I was at the edge of my seat just reading this chapter thinking something bad's going to happen, and it doesn't, I'm like, damn. Just the way you control me like that and make me not really know what's going to happen next. It's rare to see something like that, because normally when you're reading a series, you can guess what might happen next, but not in this case. And it really blew me away when I saw that. And also, along the lines of all of this, Ray's character plays a very crucial part in this chapter, and him realizing that not everything is impossible, or you should not give up so much. Like, you should learn to have some form of hope. And this was a character flaw that Ray had. A flaw within himself, and many of us included also probably shared that trait with Ray. We all assumed that it was just impossible for some of these things that these kids were trying to do, but in reality, they were able to overcome this situation and escape the farm. And when Ray, at the end of the chapter, he's just thinking, like, I can hope and all that. I admit, Norman, I was wrong. You win. It was like him saying, yes, I was wrong about my perspective. I messed up, and I shouldn't give up so easy. That's character development. That's straight up character development. Ray realizing that he should not give up. He should have some hope. And he now needs to see it for what it is now, and he realizes what he did wrong, and he realizes how he wants to change himself. Some very solid development Ray's character just got in this chapter, which just blew my mind. The entire expression of Ray when he was flabbergasted while seeing the children just cross the entire drop, that was me. I was like, wow. I mean, this is one of the big things that this series is doing so well, and I like the way this series gives me this feeling. It's the fact that we know that these children are special. We know they have been raised differently. I mean, they're being raised in the care of like a family, but they're still kind of different. They're way above the normal level of a child, but still at the end of the day, we all assumed they were just children. That's what we all assume. We all assume they were just children, so obviously there's just no way. And what Ray was thinking was what we would normally think too, because they're just children, there's just no way they could prep and get rid of these certain flaws they have to be able to escape the farm. But Ray was wrong, and the reason why is because they're not your average children. They're children that have been most likely genetically enhanced to be smarter. We've seen obvious signs to this, but regardless if they're not or are, we know they're above normal children. I mean, look at Emma, Ray, and Norman, Dawn, and Gilda. They're way above what they should be. And then look at little Phil. I mean, regardless if he's a little devil or not, look at Phil. He's age 4, and look how smart that man is. So when you look at it like that, you know that these kids are way above where they should be, and so it is possible that they would be able to escape. But that was one of the big things about this arc, and what really just shows what Ray had wrong the entire time, and what many of us had wrong, was that we were underestimating our entire cast. We were underestimating them, thinking they're just kids. There's just no way that they're all going to be able to escape. But here we go. One of the big things that happened, and what caused this, was that a lot of the farmers, they thought they were just kids, and they got fucked over for it. They thought they were just average kids. There's just no way they would go for the bridge, but that didn't happen. And that just goes to show you right then and there how good the writing of this series is, how it could just play you like that while reading. So just job well done, Promised Neverland, for doing that. Oh my god, I cannot believe they escaped like that. And then the vision of Norman, like just seeing Ray talk to Norman inside of his mind or whatever, that was such a wonderful moment when you see how they're talking about what they thought was impossible, but they found out it was possible. And it's sad when you see that exchange, and then how Ray's like, yes, I admit, I was wrong. Just good stuff, just absolutely good stuff, just a quality chapter. It was a absolute quality chapter. Probably one of the best chapters of the series. Easily. Because of the way it was handled. So, let's look at it like this now. The children have escaped. Now the survival arc begins, because they're on the run now. That means, obviously, the demons are going to be coming after them. Now, we don't know exactly what is out there. We don't even know if they're on Earth or not. We have no idea. We really don't know, okay? There could be a whole variety of things. We don't really even know the origins of the demons. We don't. And so because of all of this, we don't know what to expect in the future chapters, which I am very excited for. But it just doesn't stop there, though. What's going to happen within the farm? Because obviously, with the children escaping, there's going to be some major shifts inside the farm. Not just probably Isabel dying or getting executed because of the failure of keeping the children there, but the way the farm operates in the first place most likely is going to be changed. There's going to be some obvious changes, like the way the children are handled most likely won't be the same. I mean, overall, the way, they pick certain, mothers to watch over children are probably going to be changed. I feel like a lot of the things, the way the system works inside the farm, is just going to have a major shift because of the repercussions of this event. There's just going to be so much, and I mean, I feel like they're probably going to up their security. They're probably going to put more, guards all around, the big cliff. Most likely, they'll make the cliff even wider. I mean, there's just so many things most likely that's going to happen thanks to this. So when Emma and Ray try to come back to save the children, it's probably going to be a hell of a lot harder. If it was in my best interest, what I would do, I would most likely dig a tunnel. That's what I would do. I would actually work on some form of tunnel to dig underneath the farm up into it. That's exactly what I would do, because they're obviously going to tighten security, and that's the only way I could assume you would be able to probably get any more, kids out, is by digging a tunnel underneath it. But yeah, overall, just a solid chapter. It finally concluded this arc, and now we're on to the survival arc. What is outside the farm? So, tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about this series now, since we're finally going to be making it out into the real world? Be honest. I love y'all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.